The cup trembled in my hand, not from heat, from the way my vision bent at the edges, like the room was breathing without me. My wife stood across the kitchen island, arms folded, watching, not worried, measuring. "You're doing it again," she said softly. "You should talk to someone." The word "again" landed wrong. My tongue felt thick. My thoughts arrived late, like guests who'd missed the invitation. I stared at the coffee, dark, perfect, familiar, and wondered when it had started to feel like a threat. Later that night, my phone buzzed, a notification I didn't recognize. Patient portal updated. I frowned. I hadn't seen a doctor in years. I hated hospitals. The smell alone made my chest tighten. 6 visits, 6 psychiatric consultations, dates, notes, prescriptions discussed, all under my name. I sat on the edge of the bed, heart steady, mind suddenly clear in a way it hadn't been for months. She slept beside me, breathing evenly, one hand resting on my chest like a claim. I realized then what the dizziness was. Not illness, preparation. I wanted to believe it was a mistake. Clerical errors happen, systems glitch, people confuse files, but errors don't repeat themselves 6 times, and wives don't casually suggest psychiatric help every time their husband questions reality. I replayed the last 4 months in fragments, her gentle corrections. "You already asked me that. We talked about this, remember?" The way she'd smile when I hesitated, like a teacher watching a slow student try to keep up. I remembered the first time I doubted myself, standing in the garage, keys in hand, suddenly unsure if I was going somewhere or coming back. She touched my arm. "You're exhausted," she said. "I worry about you." Concern is a powerful disguise. I noticed things I'd ignored. The way she always made my coffee. The way she insisted on it, even on mornings I reached for the kettle myself. "No," she laughed. "Sit. I've got you." I started to feel like a problem she was managing. At night, when the fog lifted just enough for fear to seep in, I'd watch her scroll through her phone, face lit by secrets she didn't bother hiding. There was someone else. I didn't know who yet, but the deception had a rhythm, timed, practiced. This wasn't about love. It was about control. I stopped drinking the coffee, quietly, casually. I poured it down the sink when she wasn't looking, replaced it with water, pretended to sip. The fog receded, slowly, like a tide pulling back. I kept notes, dates, symptoms, her reactions. I requested my medical records. Every page confirmed the same thing. Someone had been speaking for me, describing symptoms I'd never had, agreeing to evaluations I'd never attended. The signature wasn't mine, but it didn't have to be. I tested the scotch next, the one she poured when she said I needed to relax. I didn't know what I'd find. I only knew I needed proof that didn't rely on my word. The results came back sterile and devastating. Sedatives, trace amounts, consistent, calculated. Enough to blur, not enough to kill. I watched her more closely after that. Her impatience when I seemed clear-headed, her irritation when I asked questions she couldn't steer, the way her smile tightened when control slipped. I booked a flight, Switzerland, not for escape, for leverage. I laid the papers on the table between us, lab results, medical records, a timeline. She laughed at first, too quickly. "This is paranoid," she said. "This is exactly what I've been telling you about." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "Explain the dosage," I said. "Explain the signatures." Silence. Her face drained of color in stages, like something dying behind the eyes. She reached for the papers. I pulled them back. "You told doctors I heard voices," I continued. "You told them I was unstable. You were building a case." "For what?" she whispered. I looked at her then, really looked. "For when I disappeared," I said, "or when you needed me declared unfit." Her mouth opened, closed.
The truth settled between us, heavy and undeniable. She had been preparing to erase me. The call came the next day. My daughter-in-law, sharp voice, familiar entitlement. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes," she shouted, laughter in the background. I smiled. "Enjoy," I said, and hung up. Hours later, I posted the photos, the villa, the lake, the glass walls catching alpine light like a promise kept. My phone rang once, then again, 71 times. Missed calls, apologies, invitations. I forwarded the evidence to my lawyer, to the doctors, to her lover's wife. I didn't confront her again. I didn't need to. She watched everything unravel from the kitchen window, hands shaking as the story she'd written collapsed under its own precision. Control is fragile when exposed.
I left without a scene. No shouting, no last words. Some endings don't deserve ceremony. On the flight, I felt nothing. No rage, no grief, just clarity. The kind that comes when you finally name the enemy and realize it's no longer near you. She wanted me small, confused, erased. Instead, I became unreachable. The fog never returned, and when I think of her now, I don't feel hatred, only relief. Because the most devastating thing I did wasn't revenge, it was waking up.